Welcome to the week of January 17th, everyone. I am Citrinechaka, and we're going to start off with the weekly zodiac messages for the different signs, and then we will finish off with the astro report for this week. All right, so as usual, we get started off with Aries. And the deck that I'm using this week is the Fairies deck. All right, let's see what is in store for Aries. Aries, what is in store? A lot of Aries might have a lot of things going on based on a bunch of cards just fell out for Aries. Yes, and then you have two cards that fell out for you. You have the Tower card and the Sun card that have fallen out for you this week, Aries. So this week, a lot of Aries are going to sort of feel like they're on a roller coaster. But by the end of the week, you have the Sun card here. So by the end of the week, or at least sometime this week, you will feel like you see the sunlight coming out of the darkness. Okay, you might start the week off feeling like, what is going on? This is the Tower card. In this deck, it's called Life Experience. So you might have some type of life experience this week that kind of shakes you to your core this week. But you also have the Sun card. Okay, so these two as a combination, it does represent that you might have something that happens this week that kind of just shakes you and surprises you. But you also have the Sun card, so it looks like everything is going to smooth itself out. Okay, so if you find yourself this week going through a bit of a challenge, just remember you do have the Sun card, so there is a silver lining somewhere in everything that might happen this week to you. That was for Aries. Next is Taurus. Let's see what is in store for Taurus this week. Taurus. Taurus, this week you have the Princess of Swords card. So this week you might find yourself being very truthful. Someone might ask you for your opinion, and you might find yourself being very truthful. But just remember that you can be truthful, but do everything with tact. Okay? But you will be very realistic this week, and you will be very honest this week. So this week is going to be a great week for you. Now, speaking your truth, remember to do it with kindness this week. That is for Taurus. Moving on to Gemini. Let's see what is in store for Gemini this week. Gemini, this week you have the Devil card. In this deck, it is called the Ego. Okay, so this week you might have to check your ego. Okay, or you might have to let someone else know that they need to check their ego. Okay. This week, a lot of Geminis might be placing too much importance on material things. So if you find yourself getting too wrapped up in material possessions, kind of take a step back this week, Gemini. Okay. Also, when this card shows up, it can represent the fact that you might be more focused on fear and worry this week. So if you find yourself being overly fearful or overly worried about something, take a step back, okay, and lean more towards more positive feelings this week. That is for Gemini. Moving on to Cancer. Let's see what's in store for Cancer this week. Cancer. Ooh, Cancer, this week is going to be a great week. Now remember, these readings are just general readings for all zodiac signs. So if something resonates with you, that's great. But if something does not resonate with you, don't think about it too much. Now, Cancers, you do have the Sun card this week. This is saying that if you're waiting on an answer about anything, it should be a positive answer. This week should be a great week for you. Okay? When the Sun card shows up, it talks about things happening in your favor. this week. That is for Cancer. Next is Leo. Let's see, what is in store for Leos? Leo. Leo. Leo, you have the Hanged Man card. In this deck, it is known as the Awakening card. So this week, Leo, you're being asked to take it easy. You're being asked to just hold out on making any major decisions. Hold out and look at all of the different scenarios going on, okay? You might even want to change the way you're looking at a situation this week, Leo, okay? Also, this talks about embracing how you are unique. Embrace your uniqueness this week, Leo. Okay? So, if you find yourself just wanting to take a pause, just take a break this week, Leo, go on ahead and take it because the universe is opening up that area for you. So, if you feel yourself wanting to take a break, go on ahead and take that break, Leo. This is for Virgo. Next is Virgo. Virgo, what's in store for Virgo for the week of January 17th? Virgo. Virgo, you have the Seven of Wands card this week. This week, you're being asked to be assertive. You're being asked to be courageous. Also, don't back down from what you believe in, Virgo. Seven of Wands. In this deck, it's called Seven of Spring. Okay? So this week, you might, if you've been struggling with something, Virgo, you might finally feel like all of your struggles that you've gone through, you are feeling like you're overcoming them. So a lot of Virgos might feel like they're overcoming their struggles this week with the Seven of Wands there. Moving on to Libra. What's in store for Libra? Libra. Oh, that one wants to fall out for Libra. You have the Queen of Swords that fell out for you, Libra. So this week you're going to feel very self-sufficient. You're going to find yourself very patient this week. This is a great week to let go of people and things that no longer serve you. Okay. You might even find yourself wanting to watch some comedy shows, wanting to just crack some jokes. So this week is going to be a great week for a lot of Libras. Okay. And now is also the time to focus on your career. When the Queen of Swords shows up, it's a great time to focus on your career because you're feeling very independent, very analytical as well. Now, let's move on to Scorpio. Scorpio, what's in store for Scorpio? Scorpio. Scorpio. Scorpio, you have the Lover's card. This is going to be a great week of balance for a lot of Scorpios. The Lover's card, when the Lover's card shows up, there's going to be a yin-yang energy going on. This can also signal true love. So if you meet someone, if you meet a romantic partner this week, it can be a true love connection. If you're in a relationship, you might feel like you have a deeper connection in that relationship. Okay? And if you have been sick, this is a great week for you to get back to good health. Okay? Now, moving on to Sagittarius. What's in store for Sagittarius the week of January 17th? And half the deck fell out. So let me just gather up these cards. All right. All right, Sagittarius. What is in store for Sagittarius? Sagittarius, you have the Strength card. This is a week where you're going to feel like you have the courage to do the things that you need to do. Okay? And the universe is going to be giving you the grace and the energy to get those things accomplished as well. Okay. And don't forget how wonderful you are. When the strength card shows up, you might find yourself wanting to brush your own shoulder off this week. That is for Sagittarius. Should be a great week for Sagittarius. Next is Capricorn. What's in store for Capricorn? And on the side here, I just have some basic information about what's happening this month. It's just a summary of what's going on in the sky as far as the planets are concerned. Capricorn. Capricorn, you have the Queen of Swords this week. So this week is a great week to focus on your career or your business. You're going to be feeling very strong, very independent, self-sufficient. So this is going to be a great week for Capricorns with the Queen of Swords there. Next is Aquarius. Let's see what's in store for Aquarius this week. Aquarius. Aquarius, what's in store for Aquarius? Aquarius, you have the Moon card this week. Okay, so you might be receiving a lot of information through your dreams. You might be receiving a lot of intuitive hunches, guidance, gut feelings. This is a great week to let go of any worries you have. Okay, and you might come to understand the truth of a certain situation that you've been kind of puzzled about. So this week, you might definitely get the clarity you need with the moon here. Now, let's go on ahead and see what's in store for Pisces. Pisces. Whoa. Pisces, you have the Three of Wands. This one just fell out. So this week, you're going to be feeling confident. This is a great week for you to plan your next steps, Pisces. Okay? Just remember to have patience. Remember to have patience, and this is a sign that there are more good things coming your way soon. So that's something to look forward to. That was for Pisces. Okay, so those have been the messages for every zodiac sign. Let's go on ahead and get into the weekly astrology report. So this is for the week of January 17th through the 23rd. So starting out on the 17th, we have a square. We have Jupiter in a square to Uranus. Okay, so remember, when you look at aspects, always think about the qualities of each planet. Jupiter expands. Uranus surprises. So when you have them in a square, there is going to be a challenge to Jupiter's expansion. Okay, there's going to be because a square is always a challenge. Okay, so the effects of this transit can actually vary significantly. You might think about ways to get ahead because Jupiter is always thinking about how to get ahead, how to expand. So you might suddenly have an epiphany about something, but then the square will come into play where even though you have the epiphany about something, something else comes up that kind of sidetracks your thoughts about it. Okay, and under this aspect, freedom in general is very important to you. You don't want to stay in line because remember, Jupiter wants to expand, Uranus wants to surprise. So on the flip side, you might have something that suddenly happens and Jupiter wants to expand it, but there's something blocking that expansion this week. Okay. So overall, and remember, in astrology, don't get caught up on exact dates because you could actually be feeling the energy from this transit before it actually happens. Okay. But with this transit, you will definitely have to display some sort of restraint. Okay, because Jupiter wants to expand and Uranus wants to surprise. So your expansion might be stunted under this aspect, and the surprises, the sudden unexpected events will be more than likely the culprit as to the reason why you cannot expand something this week. Okay, so that's the Jupiter-Uranus square. Let's move on, because on the 19th, the sun enters Aquarius. Okay, so as of the 19th, we can start telling all of our Aquarius friends happy birthday. And then on the 20th, we have a Mars-Uranus conjunction. Okay, Mars is the planet of action. Uranus is the planet of surprise. So under this transit, you might experience people just acting out randomly, some random events going on, because Mars is also the part of us where our anger bubbles up or our anger is exhibited. Okay, so you put the planet of action, anger, and you mix that in closely with the planet of surprise, you might get some surprising anger outbursts from people or a group of people around the 20th. There might be sudden upsets, sudden upheavals. People will be acting irrational. A lot of impulsive behavior will be going on around the 20th. Okay. Also, be very careful driving around, because accidents, you see more accidents under this aspect. Okay, when the planet of action is in conjunction with the planet of surprises, you start to see more accidents under this aspect. Okay, you also will not really care too much to have any authority figures over you around this time. Okay, so watch out for that. You might just find yourself feeling angry and resentful towards someone or a group of people around this aspect. Okay, so around this aspect on the 20th, you might just want to lay low, because there is going to be a lot of outbursts going on around the 20th. And remember, you can start feeling the energy of this aspect before the 20th. Okay, so just know that around the 20th, there's going to be a Mars-Uranus conjunction, and that is always full of surprises. So let's move on to the 23rd. Okay, on the 23rd, we have a square. We have Mars in a square to Jupiter. Okay, now this can be an aspect that really boosts up your energy. You might find yourself with a lot of energy. You just have to remember not to make any sudden moves. If you're driving, make sure you look twice or even 3 times before you merge over into the next lane. But ultimately, under this aspect, you have the future in mind under this aspect, because remember, Jupiter wants to expand and Mars wants to see it happen. Okay, so you'll definitely feel strong under this aspect. Just watch out for acting too suddenly. That's where the square comes in at. Okay, because Mars wants to go and Jupiter might give Mars too much. Like Mars wants to go, 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 and Jupiter wants to expand. So you might find yourself taking on too much under this square. When Mars is in a square to Jupiter, you might find yourself taking on too much physically. Okay, so just watch out for that. But overall, it's not a bad aspect. It's not too much of a bad aspect. Now, on the same day, we have the Sun in a conjunction to Saturn. You see that on the 23rd, Sun-Saturn conjunction. So this is a great time for you to organize things. The Sun is going to be shining the light on organizing things because it's right there hand in hand with Saturn. So the Sun and Saturn are going to be working together. It's going to help you to be very organized. It's going to help you to make plans under this transit. So that's pretty much a good transit as well. Okay, so that's everything I have for you this week. If you would like to book a private reading, visit my website, metaphysicalmoonlighters.com. Have a great week, everyone.